Stop. Don't renovate until you watch this. I've had the opportunity of seeing 500 plus renovations done. And the reality is, I have seen people burn money on things they thought were improving their value. Last month, I financed a home that was just sold, and the owner spent $80,000 on a complete kitchen renovation just a couple of years ago. You know, the works, custom cabinets, quartz countertops, high-end appliances, everything. They did it all. And when they sold it, you know what the appraiser added? $40,000. They lost $40K on a renovation that they thought was going to be an investment. So let's be smart about what we're doing. I consistently see homeowners spend fortune on upgrades or renovations that they saw on TV, some show that showed them to do all this, you're going to make all this money. And today I'm just going to break it down for you. After financing hundreds of homes, I can tell you what actually adds value and what actually costs you money in the long run. Let me tell you now why renovation advice is usually wrong. Here's the problem. Most renovation advice comes from one of three places. First, some home on HGTV that promises you if you do all this incredibly expensive stuff, yes, it's going to be pretty, but it's not bringing you any value. Second, renovation advice comes from contractors. Guess what? They get paid more if the project's bigger, if it costs more money. So they're not a great place. And third, advice comes from real estate agents who actually haven't crunched the numbers. They're not intentionally misleading you, but the reality is numbers don't lie. I see what buyers actually pay, and I see the before and after values on hundreds of properties every year. And the truth is, it's not what you've been told. Before we get into specific projects, you need to understand these three rules. Rule number one, your neighborhood caps your value. You can't renovate a $300,000 house in a $300,000 neighborhood and sell it for $400,000. The comparable sales won't support that kind of value. So you're governed by your neighborhood. Rule number two, over improving, it's a real deal. And being the fanciest house on the whole block doesn't get you more money. It just makes your house harder to sell because nothing else around it supports it. And finally, rule number three, you're renovating for the next buyer, not yourself. Trends don't matter. Your taste doesn't matter. What the average buyer in your price range expects, that's what you should concentrate on. It's not the fanciest things. It's what people expect in a house that costs this much. The reality is this, you need to understand those three rules before we can get into details and more specifics about what the do's and don'ts are when it comes to remodeling. All right, let's get into some details. Here are the big money losers. These are really popular projects that just don't pay off. I mean, unfortunately, it's the painful truth. These products will lose you money. These renovations homeowners do consistently, thinking they're adding value, but the numbers tell a completely different story. So here are the big losers. Money loser number one, we've kind of already hit on it. It's that high-end kitchen remodel. I gotta tell you, this is a really big one. Everyone thinks that redoing a kitchen adds a ton of value. And yes, kitchens matter, but there are massive differences between upgrading and overall improving. Here's what I see when I analyze the data. The average cost of a kitchen remodel or an upgrade is somewhere between $75,000 and $100,000. The sad part is the average value that's added to your home is somewhere between $35,000 and $50,000, which means you just lost $30,000 to $50,000 doing that upgrade to your kitchen that you thought was going to be dollar for dollar. It's not. You're better off doing just a cosmetic refresh. You know, some paint, maybe some new countertops, new hardware, something $15,000 to $25,000. You know what that'll get you? Your return on investment with that will be somewhere between 80 and 90%. That fancy tile that you want or that fancy backsplash, you don't need that. They want to see clean and updated functional kitchens, not some 5-star kitchen out of some magazine. Be smart about what you spend your money on. Number 2, the second biggest loser is swimming pools. I know what you're thinking. Pools are expensive, but people love pools. Pools are a lifestyle choice. I've got one. And you know the reason I have one is I have one because I enjoy it. My family enjoys it. So here's the deal. If you want to put a pool in for your family, put a pool in for your family. Swim, have a great time, cook out, host all the family events. But don't put one in thinking it's an investment. You're going to lose, again, $30,000 to $50,000. You know, on the flip side, pools actually eliminate some buyers. Older buyers, thank goodness I'm not old, they don't want the maintenance. So you're actually shrinking the buyer pool, no pun intended, when you actually put a pool in. So if you want to put a pool in for you and your family, go for it. It's great. Just don't consider it an investment that you're going to recoup 100% on. You'll probably get 30 to 40%, something like that. So consider that before you start digging a hole in your backyard. Money loser number 3. It's luxury primary bathrooms. You know, the giant spa tub that has 13 different jets and maybe even a waterfall shower or something like that, or, you know, the steam shower. They're amazing. They look great in magazines. They're super expensive. To remodel a bathroom like that, you're talking 40 to 60K. To make it like top tier, maybe even more. You know how much value you get for that? 50%. So 20 to 30. If you want a steam shower, then get a steam shower. But don't do it under the guise that it's an investment that you're going to get money out of down the road, because you're really not. You're actually going to lose money. Buyers want a very nice primary bathroom, but they're not willing to pay $60,000 for all the extras that you might add into your remodel. So once again, just clean it up. Make sure it's functional. Make sure it has fresh tile, a clean vanity, maybe some modern fixtures. You can do all that for $10,000 or $15,000. You're going to get 75 to 90% of that back. That's a much better investment than that $60,000 spa or retreat, right? Be smart about what you do. Luxury bathrooms don't necessarily have to be high-end. They just need to be functional and clean. And finally, I think number 4 loser when it comes to home renovations, it's that home office or that bonus room, with the caveat that it's going to cost you if you're reducing your bedroom count by having that in your home. So converting a bedroom into a home office or a gym, man, it seems smart. People are going to love that, especially during the pandemic. But watch out. If you're reducing your bedroom count, you're actually hurting your value. Here's why. A 4-bedroom home sells for 10 to 15% more than a 3-bedroom home. Same square footage. But that extra bedroom adds 10 or 15%. So converting a bedroom into an office or or maybe a gym, that's a potential value loss of $20,000 to $40,000. Doesn't make sense. Buyers filter bedroom count when they're looking for homes. They know how many people need to lay down every night. And if you turn your 4-bedroom into a 3-bedroom, you're losing a percentage of the population that will never see your listing because you've made the change on what you thought was going to be a great investment. It's not. Here's the reality. Leave it a 4-bedroom. If they want to make it a gym, let them make it a gym. You want your listing to show up as a 4-bedroom. Oh, there's one more big money loser I forgot to mention. That is highly personalizing your home, or maybe using trendy upgrades. Here's the reality. Bright accent walls and bold tile choices, smart home systems, they all work for you. But you're not your buyer. You're not the person who's going to live in there next year and the year after that. So don't do the neon colored bathroom. It's beautiful, probably, maybe not, but it could be hideous to your buyer. That doesn't add value. They're thinking about asking for a discount because they're going to have to paint over all that stuff. So don't do trendy things. Make sure it's functional. Make sure it's clean. Make sure it looks good. But don't go crazy. Don't follow the crowd. Make sure it appeals to the masses. Okay. Enough for the doom and gloom. That's all the things that you shouldn't do. That's all the things that will cost you money. Let's talk about a few of the money makers. This is worth the price of admission right here. These are things that you can do that will actually put money in your pocket when it comes time to sell. These are great things for a return on investment. You can actually call these investments and not just expenses. The number one moneymaker is minor kitchen updates. Notice I said kitchen updates, not remodels. There's a big difference. You know, you can update a kitchen for $15,000 to $25,000. The reality is that will actually bring a value to you in an appraisal of 18 to 30. That's an 80 to 120% return on investment. What am I talking about? Paint the cabinets, don't replace them. Put in new countertops, but maybe just do quartz and not that fancy marble stuff. Update your hardware, your fixtures. Maybe put a new backsplash in, or at least clean the one you've got. And if your appliances are green or taupe, maybe put in some new appliances. You want something to be a little more updated. This is the Goldilocks zone. You're making it look updated and move-in ready without over-improving. Buyers see a kitchen they won't have to touch for 5 to 10 years, and they'll pay for that because they know it's reasonable. Moneymaker number 2. Let's do a bathroom refresh. Again, no down to the studs, gut it kind of remodel. These are just refreshes. Same principle as the kitchen. Refresh beats remodel every day. The average cost to refresh a bathroom is $8,000 to $15,000. But it can bring you added value of $10,000 to $18,000. You do the math. That's 90% to 110% ROI. Here's areas you should focus on. Maybe a new vanity. Maybe the one you've got's old and dated. You can get those fairly reasonably. Update the lighting. People like a well-lit bathroom. Put some modern fixtures in there. Retile the shower or around the tub. Fresh paint. Maybe even a new mirror if your mirror's peeling at the edges. You're not making a crazy update where you're expanding showers. You're just freshening things up. That's going to actually make you money versus the remodel that you thought would be awesome that ended up costing you thousands of dollars. Another moneymaker, curb appeal. What? Yeah, curb appeal. How your house looks from the curb. This is the project that no one thinks about. Everyone skips it. But you remember that saying? You only get once to make a first impression? That's what we're talking about. People want something that looks good from the street. You can do this for next to nothing, maybe $3,000 to $8,000. You know how much you're going to get back? 100% of that, if not 200%. These are high impact projects, but not costly projects. Paint the outside. At least power wash the house, clean it up, get the cobwebs off, get where the dirt has stained the lower part of the brick or siding. Get that cleaned up. Maybe update the landscape. Go to Home Depot, buy some plants, put some flowers in. You can get exterior lighting very, very cheap. Put some lights out there. And this is one people miss. Make sure you have a nice mailbox and the house numbers are easily readable. People want to know if they're buying this house that people can find it. I've seen homes sell for $10,000 more because the front looks cared for. Buyers make up their own mind in their first 30 seconds of looking at a house. If it looks neglected, it's worth less in their minds immediately. Here's the secret. This is a cheap, one day a weekend kind of thing. Buy some paint, buy some mulch, get some cheap plants, spend a couple $1,000s, and the reality is you can add $10,000 to your appraisal. Crazy. People forget it all the time. The fourth thing you can do to make money or to improve your ROI is just the flooring. When people walk in a home, they don't want to see grungy, dirty carpet. They want to see clean floors, whether it's tile or wood or fake wood or clean carpet. It's not expensive to do. You can do the whole house depending on the size for, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. It's going to add at least that back, maybe 90 to 120% on your appraisal. You're going to get your money back. Look at the vinyl planks. They look like wood. They're affordable. They're durable, but they're not near as expensive as wood. Or if you already have wood, maybe just refinish it. Man, people want it to be clean. Natural tile in wet areas, they love that stuff too. Buyers walk on floors, literally. If they feel or seem worn, stained carpet, they're mentally deducting thousands from their offer. You want the best possible chance at the highest offer. You know, for $3 to $5 a square foot installed, new flooring's a no-brainer, especially in the bedrooms and living area. And the fifth moneymaker that you could do on a pretty tight budget that will still bring you a great return is just fresh paint. This one's almost so obvious that I hate to even put it on the list. But you would be shocked how many appraisals I see with interior pictures with just old, faded, messed up paint. It's crazy. That's the easiest fix of all of them in my opinion. Go buy a couple of gallons of paint and put some fresh paint on the wall. You could do the whole house for a couple $1,000s. You know, the average value add is $3,000 to $8,000 because it feels new. That's 100% return on your investment. Neutral paint makes your home look clean, bright, move-in ready. Don't go with hot pink or neon green. Go with a great neutral color. It's a great way to make your house feel newer, make it feel more open. It's easy to do. Maybe beige or gray, something like that. They want a space that feels livable. They want to make sure that it is a safe place to live. And for some reason, people perceive dark colors, bright colors as trendy and maybe trying to hide something. The last thing I want to talk about is energy savings. This is a sleeper category. If you want a great return on your investment, do things that will make your utility costs more efficient. Pretty simple. Doesn't seem like much. Put new screens on the windows. Average cost $5,000 to $15,000, depends on the project. You're not always going to get that extra on your appraisal, But people are going to realize that that's going to save them long term, and they're going to offer more for your home. Buyers are willing to negotiate more and lean in more and give you a higher sales price if they feel like your home is more energy efficient, because they see that as a long-term investment. Maybe change the lighting to LED lighting throughout. Smart thermostats. These are all ways that you can make your home more energy efficient. And I know you're wishing you'd have done this 10 years ago when you were still living there, but you want top dollar for your listing, right? Or you want top dollar for your home down the road. So let's do it. Also, make sure that you have your HVAC completely serviced, tuned up, and ready to go. People are going to ask. There's often tax credits and rebates that reduce your out-of-pocket cost if you do these home improvements that are energy efficient. So make sure you ask. There are companies that will do energy efficiency tests for you for free. Take advantage of those. So let's summarize here. The top 6 money makers. Kitchen updates, not remodels. Bathroom refreshes, not redos, completely over. Curb appeal, it's a sleeper. Make sure you clean things up outside, put some mulch down. Flooring, talked about that. Paint, and make your home as energy efficient as possible. That's where you're going to make your money, long before you'll make money on a fancy kitchen. All right, so we've got the don'ts, we've got the do's. Now let's talk a little bit about our approach and how we're going to do this. So how do you decide what to do? Here's my framework. Ask yourself why you're renovating. Selling in 1 to 2 years? That's a focus on money makers, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do the things that bring us the best return. Are we staying 5 to 10 years? So does it make you happy? And the ROI, well, it matters a little less. Or are you trying to increase value? Stick to the list I gave you. Just do those things. Step 2, know your neighborhood ceiling. Pull recent sales or similar homes and just kind of see what they sold for. What's the highest price per square foot in your area? And don't renovate above that. You'll never recover it. Step 3, get a little more information. Get an appraisal or a CMA before renovating. Ask, if I spend X on this project, how much does that increase my value? Don't guess. Get actual numbers from an appraiser or an expert, like an experienced agent. Step 4, have a budget. In that budget, put a 20% buffer. Renovations always cost more than you estimated. Always. Never seen anybody come in under budget on a reno. Just doesn't happen. Build in that 20%. If you can't afford the overage, don't start the project because it's going to run over. One more thing people don't know. You can finance renovations in your mortgage. There are renovation loans out there like a FHA 203K, Fannie Mae Home Style, a VA renovation loan. Now, they'll let you purchase a home or refinance a home and roll in some repair cost. Now, what they won't do, a lot of them, they won't let you add square footage. You can't add a second story or build a game room on the back. But at least it's a way to finance some of these improvements and you're not having to come out of pocket. It's worth looking into. I help people structure these type of deals all the time. It's one of the smartest ways to buy below market with a great renovation strategy and build instant equity. It's not right for everybody, but it might be right for you. So here's what I encourage you to do. Talk to a mortgage professional. They're going to be able to run numbers for you. They're going to be able to help you decide if you need one of these specialty type renovation loans, or they're going to be able to tell you, no, you can do it on your own. Finally, and wrapping up, here's the bottom line. Don't let HGTV or some Instagram crazy post dictate how you're going to renovate your home and tell you how much money you're going to make in doing so. Be smart about it. Do the right renovations that have the greatest chance at a greater ROI, and don't burn money. Talk to a mortgage professional. Make sure you ask the right questions. Ask about the different types of loans. Ask about the things that are going to bring the greatest return for your investment. And if who you're talking to doesn't have those answers, you're not talking to the right person. If we can ever be of help, we would love to do so. But until next time, thanks for tuning into this Toddcast, and know that we're here for you and available to answer any questions you might have. Till next time, take care, friends.